I want to say good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Arnold, if it's okay, I want to digress before I get started. To those of you who are viewing, those of you who are here this afternoon, we want to say good afternoon to you. I just want to, where's Arnold at? Arnold, I want to digress for a second to say thank you. I want to say thank you to previous mayors and council members and staff, Danny. There were so many things that took place for us to get here today. City council members, we were dealing with so many things and trying to make Caesars happen. At the same time, we still had our regular jobs and things that we had to do for the city. We were dealing with storms, we were dealing with sanctuary cities, we were dealing with protests, we were dealing with crime, we were dealing with education. At the same time, this city council, previous mayors, council members wanted to see and make things happen that you're about to be introduced today. To all of citizens, even those when the referendum came out, there were persons in our community that said, we don't quite understand this, and hopefully by now you've gotten an understanding. So before I got started today, I just want to say, take out the time to say to all of our citizens, all of you here today, our city staff, our city manager, council members, thank you. Let's give yourselves a hand, please. Again, good afternoon. I am Alonzo Jones, Mayor of the City of Danville, Virginia. Here today, we're going to unveil the architectural renderings for Caesars Virginia Casino Resort. This is a milestone moment, and it is with great anticipation and excitement that I welcome each of you. If you are viewing by River City TV, you see all the smiles under these masks of these council members. They're extremely excited, so you can put your smile down there. For those of you who are watching on River City TV, thank you for taking the time to join us. We are at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research. Thank you to the Institute and its wonderful team for hosting this event. Could you wave your hands at us so we can thank you all so much for hosting us today. Let's give them a big hand, please. Today you're going to hear from Neil Morris, the chairman of the Industrial Development Authority, and Delegate Danny Marshall. Also today you're going to be hearing from Robert Livingston and Mark Slane. They are with Caesars. Robert is the Senior Vice President of Development. Mark is the Senior Director of Design and Construction. Robert and Mark are going to unveil the architectural renderings and tell you the story behind them. Joining them will be Dave Harila. Dave is the President of Architecture for Marnell Companies, which is the designer for the project. We want to welcome them here today. Can you all join me in giving them a round of applause, please? Before we hear from them, we have a number of individuals in attendance that we want to recognize, including members of City Council. All members of City Council, would you please stand at this time, and will you give this team a great big hand for all their hard work? Would our city manager and deputy city manager and our staff from the city of Danville please stand? Could you also give them a big hand for all their work? All the members of our Industrial Development Authority, please stand so we can also thank you for all the work that you've done. Dr. Tiffany Franks, our president of Avery University, just walked in. Dr. Franks, wave at her. Let's give her a hand, please. Joining us also is Dr. Muriel Mickles, our interim president of Danville Community College. All of the elected officials, please stand. Let us acknowledge you while you're here. Jimmy Gilly is here. Sheila Branch is here. Danny Marshall. We have our constitutional officers here. We have representatives from the Virginia Tourism Council. If you're here, please stand. Tourism Council. Let's give them a hand. Our Southern Virginia Regional Alliance members, are you here? Please stand. Give them a hand anyway. Danville, Pennsylvania County Chamber of Commerce and Danville Development Council, please stand. Members of, let's give them a hand, please. Kirby Wright, Tammy Wright is here, which you all play. Hampton Wilkins with our community leaders. All our community leaders, please stand. For some reason, Hampton did not want to stand. Let me try it again. Hampton Wilkins is here. Would you please stand? I know that everyone is anxious to see the architectural renderings, but before we do that, let me quickly say that over the course of the last 2 years, myself and City Council, as I mentioned earlier, and staff have taken great care to develop plans. This council, stand up again. That's the only time I was able to tell them what to do as mayor. I said, stand up again. They have worked tirelessly in closed meetings. We agreed to disagree, and I just want to personally say, as the mayor of this city, thank you all so much for all your homework. Thank you. Thank you. City staff, Ken, Earl, city staff, stand up. Everybody's hard-headed today. You won't stand up. Dr. Mickles, I'm trying to be polite. And I take this time out to say thank you, because a lot of times people don't understand what the families I went through. They don't understand what you've been through, and I just want to take out time to say to city staff, thank you all so much for being here today, because today is truly exciting. Entertainment, we have city council and staff once again have done a great job to develop plans alongside of Caesars Entertainment to create a resort that will positively impact the community through new tax revenue, jobs, partnership opportunities with local businesses and tourism dollars. We are confident that Caesars Virginia will honor the old Dan River Mills Schoolfield site and become a pillar of pride for Danville and its people. And now I ask Neil to please come forward. As I mentioned earlier, Neil is the chairman of the Industrial Development Authority of Danville. He has served the authority for nearly 13 years. The authority works to enhance economic development for new businesses, and it helps local businesses that want to expand. To most of our community, Neil is known as our former chief of police. He retired in 2003 from the police department after 44 years, the last 32 as police chief, and he's a friend. Once again, let's welcome Neil Morris, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is really a privilege to be here this morning and to wait for this long-anticipated rendering that will be unveiled shortly. There's a lot of excitement in the community because of Caesar's announcement, and after these veils are removed, there's going to be even more excitement, because we'll be looking towards to someone doing construction work there. There'll be an influx of construction workers, and we'll even be more excited because in 2023, in the fall or late in the year, there'll be a grand opening. And that is what we're really anticipating and excited about, the number of jobs and the economic impact that this is having on this community already by purchasing the Schoolfield property and the money that's been provided to the city. Impact is being felt. We know that there's going to be a lot of attention in the Schoolfield area, and that we will have entertainment, we'll have hotels, we'll have restaurants where there'll be a lot of influx of people. Over the years, we saw at Dan River 24 hours a day, a hubbub of activity. Again, this will take place when Caesars opens up in 2023. So thank you to everyone who's been involved in this. There's so many people that's been involved to make this come a reality. So I'm going to be saying thank you and look forward to 2023.
Our police chief and our fire chief is here. Can you give them a big hand? And our police department is here. Stephen Gould is here, and Stephen's been working hard. He don't want the applause, but we won't give it to him anyway. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce this young man to the podium who's worked very hard with council. He would email me and keep me in post and keep us posted. And Neil, I thank you so much for your comments. I asked Delegate Danny Marshall to please come to the podium. As you may know, it was Delegate Danny Marshall who brought the concept of a casino development to City Council for consideration. And Delegate Danny Marshall worked in the General Assembly to shape the legislation in such a way to bring maximum benefit to our city. Please join me in bringing to the podium Delegate Danny Marshall.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I hadn't been called a young man in a few decades, so it's kind of nice to hear that. So good afternoon. So another great day for Danville and Southside Virginia. I like a good surprise, and we have come together to enjoy one this afternoon. The voters, 68%, pretty strong showing, who approved the project for establishing a Caesars Casino in Danville, have anticipated each step. A Caesars Entertainment moves towards construction and opening. We have reached another one of the milestones that have already been talked about, highlights of the process today. As we're about to see, the images of the structure will look on our River City landscape. Caesars Entertainment has listened to the ideas of local citizens in making some of the decisions and have worked to incorporate some of those historic aspects on the site. That shows a respect for the community and a spirit of making the process a success for the region, for Caesars, and we thank you for that. As the image is unveiled today, we see the expected appearance of the structures, and this is very exciting, but many innovations even more. Hundreds of construction jobs, hospitality jobs, meeting spaces, performance venues where we can host popular entertainers, great restaurants that will attract travelers from far and wide, visitors who will come to our region and discover that Danville has great things to offer as a community, and extra business revenue to help our region. Well, before today, Caesars Entertainment has already exceeded their promises. They have increased the number of hotel rooms from 300 to 500. They have also increased their expected $400 million investment to $500 million, which extra income that's going to come into the city of Danville as far as tax and revenue, and we thank you for that. And I know that that increase in tax base, look, Mark's getting, he's already getting this. That increase in tax base will help pay law enforcement. It will help pay for K through 12 and other important public services. We want to thank Robert and Mark and Dave for your work to exceed these expectations. We thank you all for your efforts here, and this is going to be your most profitable location in the U.S. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. If you notice, they put the Caesars people on this side and put me and Neil and Danny on that side. They didn't want us to ask you all for any more money. Please join me. This is an exciting time now. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Please join me in welcoming Robert Livingston, Mark Slang, and David Rydell. Please, let's give them a big Danville welcome, please, as they come to the podium. Thank you.
Wow, what a trio to follow. Little awestruck by this building. It's amazing. So good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. My wife and I rolled into town about 11:30 last night, and of course it was 8:30 Pacific time, and I'm a little jet lagged. Didn't get quite as good a sleep as I would have liked, but I'm here, and I love this place. I'm a Southern boy, grew up in Oxford, Mississippi, so Danville reminds me a lot of my home, and the Southern hospitality that we've received since we've been here has been amazing. So thank you, Mayor Jones, for your comments. Appreciate that. It's been a pleasure working with you and your council and staff. Chairman Morris, just meeting you today. Good to hear your comments. And Delegate Marshall, always a pleasure. So, while we're rolling out the thank yous, I think I'll just kind of continue on. Ken, you and your team with the city have just been amazing. I think I've said that several times. But I don't know that I remember rolling into a town to develop a casino and have been welcomed with open arms like we've been welcomed. So it's truly been amazing. You guys have kind of paved the way for us and made things a lot easier, so we really appreciate that. Everybody's been so amazing. The folks at Averett University, Danville Community College, thank you guys. We had a Zoom call with Averett and Danville early on after I got involved in this project, and these guys were ready to help us figure out how to staff this facility, and I'm going, we're just trying to figure out how to build this facility. Slow down, folks, slow down. I told somebody today, I received an email this morning, so I guess my email address is out there, with somebody in the community that's anxious to work for this property. So that's very exciting, right? And I can't wait to respond to that individual. Sounds like she's really on the ball. I do want to call out one individual that's been a great help to us, and it's a member of our team. And Mayor, you called him out already, so I'm going to embarrass him. But Stephen Gold, man, hometown boy, come home to make good. And he's been amazing, just connecting the dots for us and kind of paving the way and keeping our nose clean as we've started out this project. So thank you, Stephen. It's been awesome. So just everybody in Danville, again, I can't say it enough how much of a warm welcome we've received, and I certainly hope that will continue, and I know it will. So no pressure, Caesars Entertainment. We have to live up to all this, right? And we hope that we're going to do our level best not to let you down. So let's talk about the design journey. And these two guys build things and design things. I'm a casino operator. They say I'm a developer now, and I'm still trying to figure that development stuff out. But I'm really just a casino guy of 30 years. So we started this journey of design in January. And it started with the development agreement that we had with the city. That was our guardrails. And the first thing I did was I read that development agreement backwards and forwards because I wanted to know what we had committed to develop so that I could make sure these guys were on track with the right approach. So we had the development agreement that was our guardrails. We have this iconic brand, Caesars, that we have to live up to. And then we have the rich history of Danville, Schofield, and the Dan River Mill. We got to blend all those things together. How do you blend the iconic Caesars Entertainment with the charm of this southern city? How do you do that and pull it off? I hope you're going to see that we've done that. So that was the big challenge. So how do you do it? Well, you have to hire a really talented architectural firm. And I think when you hear comments from Dave today, Marnell is the best of the best of the best designing casinos. So we're happy to have Marnell on our team. And you have to amass a first-class group of design and construction professionals. And Caesars Entertainment has a really talented design and construction team. And we're so fortunate to have Mark on our team helping, kind of run the roadblocks and blocking and tackling and making sure that, when Robert says he wants something, Mark has to explain why I can or cannot get it. And we have those conversations quite a bit. So we had to have that talent. But the biggest thing I think we had to do, we had to listen and learn about this community and observe, and I think we've done that. And hopefully you'll see that in the renderings that you're going to see today. So I'm going to let Mark and Dave come up in a minute to show you these renderings. They're much better at talking about these renderings than I am. But before we do that, I'll kind of repeat a couple of things because everybody wants to know the timeline of the project. First thing is, it's a brown site. It's not a green site. So, it was the largest textile mill in the world, I've been told, that was on that site. So there's a lot that's there existing that has to be demoed before we can start construction. And I was just told this morning that the first thing that's going to happen, and there's already been activity on the site, it's just not super visible right now, but that water tower is going to be coming down next week. So that'll certainly get some attention when that water tower comes down. I'm not exactly sure how you bring a water tower down, but I'm sure Mark and team will figure that out. We're hot at getting toward permitting toward the middle of November, so everything's on track for that. We'll be breaking ground in December, and it's as end of 2023, hopefully a little bit sooner, timeline to open this project. So it's very exciting. The scope, you've heard a couple of comments about the scope of the project. I'm happy to report that we're exceeding the development agreement in a couple of ways. The project was supposed to be a $400 million project. It's going to be north of $500 million. The project was supposed to have 300 hotel rooms. It's going to have 500 hotel rooms. That was probably one of the first things that I saw when I read the development agreement. As an old casino guy and a regional casino operator, I just felt like we needed more hotel rooms. So we're going to get more hotel rooms, Mark tells me, and he's pretty confident of that. So there's other things. I think the meeting space was set out to be 30,000 square feet. We're at 40,000 square feet. So there's a couple other areas that we're going to exceed the development agreement, but those are the two big ones. We have a terrific lineup of restaurants that we're planning, and it hasn't been totally finalized yet. But I'm excited to tell you that Gordon Ramsay will have his name on a couple of those restaurants. And everybody knows Gordon Ramsay, one of the hottest names is out there, if not the hottest name. We're going to have an amazing spa, an amazing fitness center, and pool area. State-of-the-art casino, so that's near and dear to my heart. So we're going to have the latest slot machines, the latest table games. We own the World Series of Poker. right? So we're going to have a World Series of Poker branded poker room, and with that, we're going to host right here in Danville, Virginia. We're going to host a World Series of Poker circuit event. That if you're not familiar with the circuit event, it all ties into the big event that's in Vegas. So the winners of the big event here in Danville will go on to participate in a finale to the circuit event that's in Vegas. So it's very exciting to be able to say we're going to host one of those events here. We already operate a mobile app, sportsbook, Caesars mobile app in the state of Virginia. So we're going to have a Caesars branded sportsbook to complement that mobile app. So we'll have a best-in-class sportsbook. So I'm going to let Mark and Dave share with you more about the details. I know you guys are tired of hearing me talk, but again, thank you guys very much for the warm welcome, and we look forward to making you proud as we develop and build this casino. Thank you. Mark Schlang.
Good afternoon. Every time, wow, it's hard to follow up Robert, but I'll keep it brief. Again, just want to thank everyone, Ken Larkin, you and your staff, Corey Bobby. It's been great. Stephen, you're my right hand out here as we pursue this project, and it's a complex project. I wear two hats. One, we want to exceed your expectations as far as what we're going to deliver as a project. When Robert says we're going to exceed the budget at $500 million, my job is to make sure we don't go over that. But it's exciting. I want to just emphasize that the design process is an ongoing process for us. It doesn't stop with what you see today. We have a team, very talented team that's working nonstop to again, exceed your expectations. We want this to be something that the city's proud of, but we put a lot of personal investment of ourselves in it as well as designers and contractors. So we're looking forward to continuing our engagement with everyone, and I know you're anxious to see the images, so I'm going to invite David and I are going to unveil the renderings that you're all here to see. So.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Let me just take a second. I'm not going to thank everybody again, and thank you. I do want to say thanks to a whole team that's outside of these doors. We have hundreds of team members on the design and the engineering and the planning process that goes with it. And then I'll also add, working with Robert and the Caesars team, he says he's not an architect, he's not a designer, but I'll tell you this, he's bringing everyone from the Caesars table, which there's a massive team across the country. And the beautiful thing about Zoom right now, we could bring in a lot of people that won't typically be part of the design process, but they're in operations, and we're getting that benefit throughout. Every time we have a session on the entertainment or the restaurant, we've got a team of probably twice as big as it typically is, because we can do that right now, and they're all providing input. So I've been doing this for 26 years, building these big greenfield sites around the country, and I've never been part of a group that has engaged as much as they've had, and is consistently reviewing the plan, giving comments back. And if you've been part of a design process, the more input you get during the design process, the better the outcome. So I'm real excited about showing this plan. And with Mark's leadership on it, I think it's one of the best in class, and giving a customer service first. It's all about providing for the customers so they come back, and so on and so on. I think this plan will really show that it does that in a lot of ways. We won't be able to get into all the detail today, but that's been thought about in every component, from arrival to departure, for your stay, and while you're staying there, getting to all the components. And then another key thing here is we're starting with this, I'll call it phase one. All these projects that we look at we're all optimistic they're going to do great, and then we'll want to add to it. There may be additional hotel rooms, additional restaurant, additional entertainment as it grows, giving you the ability to do that over time and without interrupting the service, so we keep the customer experience going the whole way. So that's really baked into this plan from the beginning. And then last but not least is the site. Every site brings new challenges, and this one has a lot of challenges that resulted in, I think, a lot of good solutions for the customer experience. and then the operations of this building. As you first look at the site, there's a very large drop in terrain out towards the river, and we use that for our benefit for multi-level, providing great service from below and access to the team members, and to have a seamless behind-the-scenes service to this, unlike many other facilities. And before we unveil here, the comment was made a number of times, what will this be? And I was challenged by the team here at the city last time we talked, I can't wait to see how you're going to take Caesars and make it feel like Danville in the vernacular, the local vernacular and the materials, and I'm most excited about showing that because we looked at a lot of plans. We always look at a lot, but this one we looked at a lot of plan layouts and design layouts and materials, and I feel real excited and comfortable that you'll be happy with how this lays out on the site. So let's jump into it. We're going to show each slide on the big screen, but we'll unveil all of them. So afterwards, everyone take a real close look because there's a lot of detail put into this. We're very advanced on the design. All right, hit it here. Let's hit the first one. So the first one we've shown before. This is just a snippet of the entry to the casino. So the big takeaway here is brick. We're going to use brick, we're going to use brick at the right places around. And the nice thing here is the Three Sisters. As we looked at the initial design, we embraced the Three Sisters. We think they're the best element on the site and an icon for the city and a view throughout. So everything on the plan is based on a focal point to the Three Sisters and how they engage in your experience there. From all the hotel rooms focused to it, the entrance into it and out of it focused to it. So you'll see that as we roll through. Want to roll to the next one, Mark? This is the porte cochere. So a nice takeaway here is you look back at the original Caesar's Palace. There's a form, this wonderful cantilevered form, and we're taking a little bit of the node to that history just for the moment of the Caesar's brand to open to. Real modern way of doing it, but a real nice subtle move into it. And then, like I said, breaking down the scale of this building. It's a very large building. There's a lot of program and components to it, but how do we make it fit in with the environment and scale it so it's got a nice pedestrian feel and blends in with the community, creating that center point for your entertainment. All right? Flip through. This is just the blush of the color and materials. The takeaway here, it's a nice, soft, there's not neon, it's not a glowing, real flashy element. It's a nice, subtle move. Caesar's branded, real touch of class and clean and good design. Okay? Flip through. So these are a few elements. As we look at how do we make it learn from the history of the site, and we got a hold of the original images and really got excited about the form of the building. You know, the original building doesn't suit well for a casino or a hotel, but about the form and the massing of it. So this is a combination of snippets from the renderings. You can see which pieces are a new building and the existing buildings that were there. And we're going to use that in real creative ways. You know, the biggest example are the Three Sisters. We're going to clean those up, and that will be the focal point of the entire facility. We're going to use elements like the Dan River Bell in a nice setup on the entertainment forum, so it's a piece of the history there. And then introduce the forming of the tower based on some of the forming of the building out there, and how it was designed with a real strong grid pattern. We've also executed that into the hotel itself. All right, Mark? Through. So there's the money shot. This is the front door entry off of Main Street. So as you pull in, there'll be a nice subtle monument sign setting us up with Caesars, getting a glimpse of the Three Sisters, and then that is the hotel tower with the 500 rooms. It's 18 stories high, so it's lower than the Three Sisters. We didn't want to go higher than it. We wanted to keep them as the tallest elements on the site. So we're just under 200 feet, and they're about 220 feet. All right, flip through. So real nice landscape environment throughout the entire property. Casino entry and another shot from the Bishop entry. Flip through. This is from the entertainment forum side. So this is outside looking back at the building from where we'll have the outdoor entertainment. We're showing this because it'll be around the entire building. A lot of buildings are done where there's just a facade at the front, but this has a real 360 view. There isn't a real back door, but you know there is a service area to the north, but it'll all be material and color to be consistent to the whole development. Flip through. This is a shot if you're driving along Main Street, and you'll see how the three sisters engage. They look pretty close in this building, but in this shot, but they're 250 feet away from the building, giving us ample room down at the base of the sisters for entertainment. Flip through. This is a great aerial shot. So if you're up on Main Street, up a few hundred feet in the air, looking down, you get a good feel for the overview of it. A big thing, when the garage comes into play, a lot of times the garages are massive buildings, but this is nestled into the terrain, so it looks like a two-story garage instead of a four-story garage, so it'll fit nice into it. You get a glimpse of the pool area at the base of the tower. That's where our pool and our fitness and our spa facilities will be, right at the base. And then behind the tower in this shot is the three sisters, and that circle you see is that whole entertainment component that's outside. All right? I think we're there. So a little extra for this show. This was focused on the whole exterior design, but we also have the interior of the hotel design. Caesars has been working on the Caesars branded room, and this has been applied to the Danville module and room bay. These are images of the suites and corridors, so it just gives you a blush of a real modern, clean, comfortable hotel room. And then you can see outside the window are the three sisters on all the rooms that face towards that area. Flip through. You might have pressed it. There's a typical room, and these are the suites. If you go back one, these are the typical rooms. So it's all the rooms throughout the entire property are based on that same palette. Real nice contemporary feel with a touch of simplicity with materials, but real genuine in the design of a comfortable facility. So those are the shots. We have all of these for everyone to look at real closely, and appreciate the opportunity.
All I can say is, wow. Can we give Robert and Mark and David another big hand, please? To all of the mothers and wives and sisters, let me go real slow. To all of the mothers, the wives, and the girlfriends, when your husband or your boyfriend or your son said, I'm going and hang out with the three sisters, they're talking about the smokestacks. They may not call it Caesars. They might say the three sisters. Those are the three smokestacks. Let's give them another big hand, please. Please, as stated, take out time to take a closer look at the renders. We want to thank you all so much. And for those who are watching us on Facebook, this is so funny to me because as I was sitting there, Mark, stand up, please. Mark, Institute. Now, Mark, thank you and the Institute for hosting us. Let's give Mark a hand. Mark Aaron and Facebook. Mark, thank you so much for what you're doing here on Facebook. Mark Aaron, let's give him a hand. Mark, thank you so much. We have a lot of Marks here today. So again, Mark Aaron is going to post these renders on River City Facebook as quickly as possible. They also will be available on the Danville Government and Economic Development Facebook pages. Again, we want to say thank you all for joining us, and we hope you have a great afternoon. Thank you all so much. So let's give yourselves a big hand.